Hey everyone, it's stats time again. We're in June, looking back at May because we want to see what's gone on. It feels a little different this time. So the information we're going to give you, the stats, the detail, all that information is going to give you the knowledge. So stay tuned and let's get into some numbers. Hey everyone, Richard Payne here from Halifax Homes and Lifestyles at eXp Realty, and we are at the very beginning of June and we're looking back at May, and as we've just said, feels really different. Like there's definitely been some changes that's been going on in May that are really starting to affect the actual market. To give you the real fast and quick overview, it's not that case anymore like it was say 2-3 months ago, middle of last year, where you can just put the house on the market, leave it for 3 or 4 days, get tons of viewings, and we're into multiple offers. Now, what seems to be happening, and I've absolutely experienced this 3 times now in May, is you can put the house on the market, you say that you're going to wait 3 to 4 days for all offers to come in, and you get to the 4th day, you get to the deadline of when the offers are supposed to be in, and no offers turn up. So then all of a sudden, one offer turns up the next morning and like it gets accepted. Now, let's put a bit of realism in there because you can't just go, well, it's listed at 500, I'm going to give you 500. Like we're still seeing the over asking price offers. And when we start looking at the numbers on the sheet here, we'll definitely get the feeling that, yeah, that is still happening. So properties are still going over asking price. It's just that it seems like a lot of that competition has kind of slowed down. You know, no longer are listings, now qualify this, good listing, good area, good condition, good price. They are absolutely still going fairly quickly in the market, like, you know, first 2 or 3 days, then all the offers come in and then it's conditional. And yes, I'm still sending in offers for my buyers and competing, still getting over asking price on listings as well, but it just feels different. It feels like the market has actually taken a little bit of a breath. We've had three increases in the mortgage base rate since the start of January, and that's really tempered down the market. So I'm finding a lot of those high-end listings, especially the ones that are like $1 million or over, they're actually slowing down a little bit. Like people are really taking caution, pausing a little bit, thinking about where they want to put the offers in. So let's give you some of the headline numbers that I know you're waiting for. So average selling price, $642,500. Went up from last month. So it's up 2% on last month and we're up 24% on the same month last year. Now we know that last year, like basically the whole year was a little bit crazy. So the fact that we're still up 24% on last year means that our average price is still increasing. That gives us 112% sale to listing number. So if it's listed at, well, look at this, listed at an average of $573,500, you're paying roughly $68,000, $69,000 over asking price to get to that $642,500 in terms of the actual selling price. Now, the average days on market, we are at 12. Last month it was 9. This time last year it was at 16. So it's creeping up a little bit, but like, you know, 3 days, like it doesn't really matter that much in terms of the days on market. It just shows that kind of, as we were just saying, the 3 to 4 days and then all the offers in, well, maybe it's not happening as much. Maybe it's more like 6th, 7th or 8th day and then the offers coming in, go through the conditions, hence we end up with 12 days on average. Now, number of houses sold, we were at 620 homes sold. That's up 18% on last month. Last year, only 1%. So like we're really similar in terms of the volume of the houses that we sold. Number of houses that are active, we're at 469 single family homes active inside the HRM area, up 48% from last month. So that's like nearly like an extra half on last month. So last month must have been like 300. Now we're sitting at 470. So that's one of the signs that obviously people are starting to have a little bit more choice from a buyer point of view. We are still up 29% on last year as well. So again, like, you know, we can see we've just put more inventory on the market. Now, in terms of how that's gone since the start of the year, January, that active number was 146. 146 at the end of January, 469 at the end of May. We're up 221% on the start of the year. So like that basically tells you that things are starting to shift a little bit. Like the market, like we're not saying that we've gone like towards a balanced or a buyer's market, like we're not even close to that, because months of inventory whilst we're at it is 0.8 months, still a seller's market. But it just feels different. Like from the boots on the ground point of view, just feels that little bit different. So for buyers, it means that potentially you've actually got more houses to look at. Well, once you've got more houses to look at, that means more choice. That means you can actually kind of make a little bit of a decision, get in to see the house the second time, and you can therefore actually potentially get the house that you want instead of having to just basically go, well, I'll take that house there because that's like the only one that's in my price range and that's available and I need a home. So that's how it feels for buyers. For sellers, what this means is don't go crazy. Like, don't think that you're going to, and please tell me that your agent, your realtor, your representative is not saying to you that like, oh yeah, like we'll be on for 4 days, we'll get multiple offers, we'll go $150,000 over asking price. If they're telling you that, find a better agent, because that's not the case. Like, we're starting to see agents be more sensible. Now, one of the things that is concerning from a seller point of view, just in terms of what sellers are doing out there, is they're listing at $500,000. Let's take that as an instance. And then what they're doing is wait 4 days. They don't get the offers they want. Then for some reason, the price goes up to actually the number that they were expecting. Now that's because, number one, they never went conditional. So they never actually got the market to tell them what the real price is. But in their mind, they were hoping to get 600, 625. Just list at 600. Like, if that's the number that you want to be at, so long as your agent that's representing you can actually get behind that number, then just list at that number. Like, don't go at 500 and then kind of go, well, I'm going to get multiple offers and then I didn't get multiple offers, so I'm going to raise the price. Just put the price at a sensible number. So like, please, if you're sellers, just think about that for a little bit, because it just makes the market much more sensible, much more stable, much more of a possibility of you actually getting the price you want, rather than starting low, hoping you're going to get multiple offers, and then you don't actually get any offers at all. And then me as a buyer's agent sees this weird thing where like, why did you put the price up? You didn't get any offers, so that makes no sense. That makes me think that you are basically trying to get multiple offers and you are pricing it deliberately low. So yeah, just don't do that. Let's have a look at some of the numbers. So sales to new listing ratio. This is a really key one that I like to look at, because it tells me how many more properties are coming onto the market. Now that sales to listing ratio was 76%. So we sold 620, but we listed in the month 821. Now that's 3 months in a row that we have actually seen more that like 70 to 78, maybe 80% in terms of that ratio, which means that's why we're looking at 469 homes active for sale. That's up like 50% on last month, because we're seeing people hang around a little bit longer. Maybe there's not such a heating of activity and everybody's all over that house. So that's why we're seeing, and like I said, that's been going on now for 3 months. So we're starting to see more inventory on the market. Sellers, more inventory on the market means more competition for your property. So again, we're back to being, let's price accordingly. Make sure we get it right. Make sure we get you the price that's really, really good. But at the same time, like, we're not hoping that every house is going to get $150,000, $200,000 over asking price. We just want to make sure we are, because we are, like, I'll tell you now, we are at the absolute peak of the market. It's really interesting that we're still going up in terms of the dollars, but we're at the peak. So you've got to make sure that if you are on that time where you're like, do you know what, now is the time, then just be really sensible with your price. And if you list for 600 and somebody gives you an offer at 600 and you're good with that, take the offer. You know, let's not be greedy here and let's try and get 750 for that $600,000 house. If you had that discussion with your listing agent and that's the number that you're comfortable with, just move on and take that number. Like, that's what we're trying to make sure that people are being, is let's put some sensibility on the market. Like, we're sitting here now, $69,000 over asking price. You know, there's a lot of homes that have gone for substantially over asking price, so there's still that competition in the market. For instance, like, looking at the average price point, you know, we're 37 homes were sold for over $1 million. That's quite a lot. That's like 0.5% of the whole of the houses that were sold were over $1 million. And we had 79 homes that were actually over $150,000 over the listing price. That's about 10%. Well, actually, it's a little bit more than 10%. So you can still see that the market is still incredibly strong. Good houses in a good location that show well in good condition are still selling. So for sellers, that's what it means for you. For buyers, still got to put your best foot forwards, but maybe you just got that little bit more choice. Now let's get into the top areas. So number one is back to Lower Sackville. $484,000 is an average price. $87,000 over asking price is what you're going to have to pay. 22%. Wow, that's a big number. 8 days on market. There's 57 homes were sold. 27 were actually active, which gives us half a month's of inventory. So like, that's a really buoyant market still right now, and it's still kind of sensible when you look at the pricing, but it still blows your mind a little bit that like Lower Sackville, that would have been a $220,000 3 years ago, is now sitting at $484,000. Kind of up there. East Hants, we know all about East Hants, which is Elmsdale, Enfield, Lance area. We know that that area is incredibly good right now, and I think it's down to price. $446,000 average price. 51 homes sold, 53 active, so that gives us roughly a month. 13 days on market, 12% over asking price. So average, $48,000 over asking price. I did say average. I just said average. So like, don't expect that that's what you're going to have to pay all the time, but I think people are looking there because they're seeing more value. Move a little bit further out, I can probably get a bigger house, more commute time, don't forget that, but it's going to become really popular up there. Like I said, there's a new library, there's a new swimming pool, which is a really good swimming pool. That's where I go swimming up there for the triathlon training. And of course, you've got the new development coming, you've got the new junction on the 102. It's got a lot going for it, worth looking at. Number 3, we're at Timberley, St. Margaret's Bay, Upper Tantallon area. Average price there, $587,000. 18% over asking price is the average, which is $90,000. So the average list there was $497, average sale $587. 44 homes sold, 22 active. That gives us 1.2 months of inventory. So those are all the details, but again, like, it comes down to your specific market. So if you've got questions, you've got anything that you want to ask, put the comments down below. Definitely hit the like and the subscribe button. Just ask your questions. Like, we'll just give you the answers straight, and hopefully we can help you in your real estate journey during the year of 2022 and beyond. So if you've got any questions, just get out to us.